Most Amazon KDP advice is complete BS. KDP is easy, KDP works for everyone, KDP is the best. No, that's a lie. KDP is not perfect, and I'm gonna show you what the reality looks like and how to make it work in 2026. Because you gotta do a few more things than all the gurus tell you, so let's begin. If you don't know what KDP is, here's a super quick summary. Now, Amazon KDP stands for Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. And basically what you do is you sell books on Amazon. Amazon brings all the customers and handles everything for you, and you don't need to be a writer. There are software, tools, outsourcing, ways to help you create the books. You don't need to create them yourself. Now, the books that you can sell include regular books that Amazon prints and ships for you on your behalf, which is pretty smooth. But you can also sell ebooks and digital downloads that somebody basically downloads and they read online. Now, the books come in 3 different types or different categories. The first one is going to be high content books, which means regular fiction and non-fiction books that you read, and these are pretty hard to create because they're a regular book. Also medium content and low content books, which are easier to create, but they include, for example, journals, planners, coloring books, puzzle books, etc. Okay, now let's get into the 8 things you need to consider to start Amazon KDP in 2026. Number 1. Is KDP even right for you? Like, seriously, there are a lot of different business models and one isn't perfect for everybody, even though obviously the one pitching it is going to try to tell you so. KDP is good for somebody who wants to build an online business that's slow and steady without a lot of complexity. It works perfectly as a one-person business because you don't even need customer support. And yes, KDP is quite scalable because you can keep launching books over and over again, and it doesn't require, startup capital like most businesses do. That's a big advantage. At the same time though, I want to be realistic, okay? Amazon KDP takes time. You're gonna have to learn and figure out what actually works. And that can be a long and tiring process. And unfortunately, as with most businesses, that's where most people give up and drop out. They don't have the patience to stick around until they get their first win. And I promise you, once you get a proof of concept and you get your first win, it becomes a lot more fun and motivating to work hard on your business. But you have to stick around and get your first win first. Number 2, business mindset. A lot of these online businesses attract lots of beginners and lots of people in general because it sounds sexy. You can do it online, but what people forget is that it's a real business and people don't treat it as a business. Now, if you want to start a KDP store in 2026, you need to treat it like an actual business. That means working on it every single day. Doesn't have to be all the time. You don't need to sit on your computer 24/7, but you have to constantly improve. You have to do research. You have to do your things. And you have to actually treat it like a real business if you want to expect business results. Number 3 is to get help, okay? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Did you know that McDonald's is actually a franchise? That means that the individual entrepreneurs are buying the rights to start a McDonald's. But why would they pay McDonald's to start a McDonald's when they can just start their own hamburger place? Because McDonald's have already figured things out. They have a strong brand. They've spent hundreds of years, literally at this point, figuring out the most efficient processes so that an entrepreneur can just come in and use them right away. You want to treat KDP the same way. Today there are softwares out there, like for example BookBalt, which I'm a proud partner of, but you can use other alternatives too. And these softwares basically help you to create books, help you do research, help you do everything 10 times faster. And if you're not using something like a BookBalt software, you're just wasting your time. Whenever I start something new, I make sure to get help from people who've already done it and use whatever tools and advantages that I can find. Trust me, it works. It gets you forward way quicker than you could ever do yourself. Number 4 is going to be the Pareto principle. Now, you might have heard about the 80-20 rule, and for example in business, it's very common to talk about it. Sometimes, legit, sometimes a little bit voodoo. In business, it often means that about 80% of your results come from only 20% of your efforts. Basically, we do a lot of stupid shit that we shouldn't, that don't give us results at all. Now, when you're going to start Amazon KDP, you're going to have to post a few books to figure out the process and learn. They're not going to be the best, that's fine. But eventually, you want to publish less and fewer books. You want to do less. Basically, you want to do things better and figure out where the real leverage is. You don't gain leverage and win by spamming out books on Amazon KDP. There are plenty of people who just publish books and get nothing. You gain it by understanding the market, understanding what things are selling, understanding how to create what people actually buy, and putting your time into these important levers, not just spamming out books. So don't do stupid shit and spend your time on what actually matters. It's simple advice. It's gonna take some time to figure it out, but Amazon KDP really shouldn't take that much time, and there are people running their stores with just a few hours per week because they put their energy up front into the things that actually matter. The 20% that actually give 80% of results. Number 5 is to test, and test some more. Look, I know I just said don't do stupid shit, but testing isn't stupid shit. Testing is essential. You can learn football by reading books, watching movies, taking courses, but if you actually want to learn football, you need to get on the pitch. That's why football coaches won't give you books, but they'll teach you some things and then put it to test. Treat Amazon KDP the same way. You need to test to get better. I've tested a lot of books, most of which failed, to be honest, and you need to identify why something fails so you can make it better the next time. As cheesy as it sounds, if you improve 1% every single day on KDP, you're gonna be a master. To test, and test some more. Number 6, yes, it is saturated. Now, Amazon KDP isn't what it used to be. If you're a lucky fella who got into the game in 2018 or something, lucky you, most of us didn't. We had to fight, and the fight is only getting more difficult. More people are joining every single day on the platform. But something that most people forget and they start to panic is that more people are also buying on the platform every single day, and Amazon is actually growing. So anyway, the not so secret is to specialize. You want to get really good at a certain niche and really understand it and what books and products actually sell. So here's how you do it. First, you try things out and you explore all the spaces until you find that niche that you like, that's profitable. And then once you find that winning niche, you go all into it. You don't want to make a productivity journal for everybody. There's already 10,000 of these out there. Nobody's going to buy it. But if you can find an opportunity where there's interest and it's growing without too many established products and competition, that's your secret gem. And these things exist, you just have to find them. Number 7 is pretty simple, and it's execute. Look, I can sit here all day and talk to you, but if you don't get up and actually do something, nothing is going to change. I'm not going to go all David Goggins on you, but decide what to do tomorrow, the most important thing, and actually get it done. Hold yourself accountable, write it down, and I promise you're going to feel so great and proud of yourself the next day. And you're also going to progress really quickly, because remember, it's not about doing everything. It's about identifying high leverage actions and then getting shit done. If you haven't started, create a KDP account today. Sign up for a software, start dabbling around and creating your first book. Looks horrible, looks awful. Who cares? You did it and you created the first book. You took the first step. And creating your second book is going to be so much easier. And your third book is going to start to look like something. And by your fourth book, maybe you'll even want to publish it. Who knows? Number 8. So about 5 or 6 years ago, I wrote something down on a piece of paper. And basically what it said is, don't give up just because you're making progress. And every single year since then, a few times a year, I go back and look at this piece of paper and this quote. So when you publish your book, get ready for the next one. When you start to feel like you know something about KDP, go harder, try more. When things start working for you finally, make it better. Use your success to continue getting more success, and don't give up. Amazon KDP is a scary business because it doesn't show you the results right away. You put in all this work and you expect to see something happen. Kind of like when you're buying index funds. It just doesn't happen overnight. Because growth is exponential, progress hides behind the corner. And you won't see it day by day, until that one day when you open up your dashboard and you're thinking to yourself, wow, I actually did it. I really think that's the number one problem with online business. Results are so slow and people have been fed a lie that it's fast in the beginning that people just quit. They think it's always going to be slow and they quit before they get over that initial hurdle. But results are not linear. Don't do that. Don't quit. I also have another video covering more on Amazon KDP right there for free if you want to check it out. If not, I'll see you somewhere else in another video.